I finished Whisper Sweet Nothings by Pavlov, performed in Duet by Savannah, Peachwood and Sebastian, and we're multitasking today because I'm going to talk about it while I'm walking because it's a lovely day. Who knew? I did dress for winter and it's not winter. The wind has clearly died down, so yay! But also no, because I may melt. The hat is already in the bag. Thank God I brought the bag. But anyway, I digress. Should be used to that by now. So Whisper Sweet Nothings is the last book in the Rosewood River series, and so I came into this series at book 2, and I am going to do book 1, but I have not done it yet. But I didn't miss anything going in. I don't think necessarily you would miss anything going in earlier, but I think if you went straight into this book, you would miss some of the nuances of just the character dynamics. Especially because even though they are all standalones, this book very much wraps up. We do an epilogue and then an extended epilogue, and we go fast forward like 20 years. Book 1, we are introduced to a child, and in the extended epilogue, he's an adult, and we see, you know, how that is going to go into like next generation. So obviously go in at your own risk if that's your choice. So this book, single dad, Archer, he throughout the series has had this nanny who has been useless as a former nanny. Every time she was on the screen, I was just like, what the hell? And pretty much his family have been the same. Like, you have to get rid of her. Like, what the heck? He has the sweetest little girl in Melody, and he finally bites the bullet and does it. And we enter Winnie. She is 24, so she's 9 years younger than he is. I think at the offset she's 10, and then she has a birthday, so it's 9. So a bit of an age gap. And he very much makes a point of that throughout the book of her age. But she's a divorcee, she has life experience, and not a great one. And she is looking for a part-time job because she's actually an author. Now, if you saw my review for the last book, I actually commented on this, about that there was such a focus on a particular author, and I had said that I didn't know whether this was a made-up author, whether something was going to come to fruition with that, or, and obviously, Kelly, it happened, which I think talks to authors and how they do set things up and they do foreshadow things, and sometimes it's really intentional, and as readers, we don't always know going in what the plan is, and having faith that there are reasons authors do things. And sometimes it can feel like something is left open or left as not having a reason, but actually there will be, it just may not be in that book. And that is exactly what happened here, because she's in this book, and so she is a romance author, and so she joins the book club. They find out she's an author, and they're like, can you tell us your pen name? And when they do, they're like freaking out, so they become advanced readers. They kind of end up being like alpha readers for her, and we get kind of behind the scenes of her having a book deal and going on book tour, which sort of plays into their sort of relationship and how that sort of played out, and him not wanting to hold it back and things like that. But we really see them sort of coming together, and the toilet gets a prominent feature again in this book. As someone that doesn't like toilet humour, you would think that I wouldn't like the conversation about this toilet, but I actually think it's so funny. One of the things I actually love about this book is, and this series, is actually seeing the progression of Richard. Watching him go from this grumpy, I hate everybody, to everybody needs to be in love. I'm gonna like matchmake and I'm gonna make sure everybody's feeling the way that I'm. And which is why again I think doing the other books really gives you that connection, because yeah, you would enjoy it for what it is, but you wouldn't get the nuance of it if you hadn't done his book, if you hadn't seen how he treats his partner. I think it's Amelia, but I could be completely wrong because I barely slept all night. But I really sort of enjoyed seeing that continuation of his growth and him helping Archer with his. The other thing that really enjoyed... Hello? No, I've got 2. I don't need another one, thank you. That's the reason I didn't sleep, thinking it's psycho cats. One thing that I really appreciated with this book is Melody's mum did not want children. She did. So when they became pregnant, she relinquished her parental rights to him. She's never demonised for making that choice. And I really appreciated that, because I recently DNF'd a book because it was the exact opposite. And the way everybody spoke about her for making that choice. And yeah, the way she went about it wasn't the greatest. But the name calling from other women, from the men, I just couldn't jive with that. So the way they very much like to respect her decision, it was her choice, I really appreciated that sort of way of dealing with it. I really loved the way Winnie sort of just took to caring for Melody, and Melody, oh, she's such a sweet girl, and we've had her for all these books, so we know that, but the way she started like referring to her as my Winnie, the heart. Can we see my Winnie? Can my Winnie do this with me? Can my Winnie do that? Love it. And it very much, you know, sometimes a Nanny Romance can feel like the child is there or an afterthought. It very much felt like a unit with this one, that the child was a part of the romance and that we were falling in love with them as a family unit. And I loved that aspect to it. It's a duet narration, and I think it was very much suited to that. Savannah Peachwood is fabulous, always, and giving Melody like this little bit of a southern twang, and the way that she was voicing, like the My Winnie part, so great. And I loved the sort of way the independence came across, of adviciness, of look, I'm my own person, I can do my own thing, I can do this job, like, whatever dude, I've already dealt with so much in my life, you were not gonna like hold me back sort of thing, but also the vulnerability of having experienced so much, and then having this man sort of make those decisions that he felt were right. And I was so pleasantly surprised by Sebastian in this, and I know that sounds, but we all know I am a hit or miss when it comes to Sebastian, and I would say for 99% of the book, I was like, this is so good. This is really hitting where I needed it to hit. It's fun, it's entertaining, and you actually really got the nuance of him being a single dad and his focus being his daughter, and him being concerned and not wanting to start something because his sole focus was his child, and him struggling with these feelings he was starting to have. For me, the struggle came with the group chats with the family, and that was difficult because the group chats are hilarious, but if it wasn't for the fact that it was labelled who the text was from, we wouldn't really know who the text was from, because there just wasn't enough change to his tone, to how he presented the information, to really tell. But other than that, it was really great to have him on this project. With it being an age gap, Savannah and Sebastian were a great sort of combination and a great contrast to one another, and it was a joy to listen to, and I think the entire series has been a lot of fun. It's got a lot of heart, and I loved that we found out who was writing the tale of tea, which as soon as things started like happening, I was like, I know who that's going to be. Oh my god, that's who it is. And it was, and I was like, got it. Which I love figuring that shit out. I love it. And I love the fact that Richard has always been so focused on finding out who it was, and when he did, he told no one. Like, personal growth. Richard has had the most personal growth of anybody in this entire series, and we've got to love that for him. And you should definitely check it out.